In the photo, she was smiling, but there was no shadow behind her. I enlarged the image. There was something there, something that shouldn't have been there, and then my phone turned on the camera by itself. I'm not going to show you what happened next. You will either stop now or you will learn something you will not be able to see. I heard the key scrape before I saw her. It was 9:12 p.m. when the metal rasped against the new deadbolt, slow, then frantic, like she was trying to pick a memory open. Through the peephole, I saw her. Emily. Tanned. Confused. Eyes bloodshot from a week of cocktails and poor decisions, dragging a rose-gold suitcase like it still held the truth. I didn't open the door right away. I let her knock. Once. Twice. 3 times before I clicked the chain across. Ryan? Her voice. Mock surprised. As if I wasn't supposed to be here. As if the man she left wasn't supposed to exist anymore. I opened it just a crack. Enough to see her, not enough for her to step in. Your key doesn't work, I said. Her lips parted like a door opening on rusted hinges. Did something happen to the lock? I changed it. What? A laugh, brittle. Why would you do that? You said you needed space. 3 weeks earlier, she'd vanished. Not with drama. Not with tears. A text. A digital vanishing act. Things feel complicated. I really need space to think, figure things out. Don't contact me for a while. I'll reach out when I'm ready. No conversation. No warning. Just a Tuesday night and an oven timer beeping for a dinner we'd never eat. At first, I believed her. Because when someone you love says they need air, you don't close the window. You open the damn thing wider. I responded the way any decent man would. Okay. Take the time you need. But silence doesn't stay noble forever. By Friday, nobility curdles into humiliation. That's when I saw the Instagram post. A beach in St. Lucia. Emily in a sundress I hadn't seen. A man beside her, taller, tanner, familiar. Jordan. The ex. The one she swore was ancient history. Dust. Dead language. That caption island getaway. Reunited. Living our best lives. That's when something in me calcified. Betrayal, yes. But also relief. Because when people show you who they are, you get to stop guessing. That Saturday, I did what she asked. I granted her space. Permanent space. First, the locks. $250 for 2 pounds of reinforced closure. Best money I've ever spent. Then the car. A Mazda CX-5. Technically mine, bought in my name, insured in my name, titled solely to me. She'd treated it like hers, but love doesn't rewrite legal documents. I took it to a dealership across town, handed over the key like I was surrendering a child I didn't father. $16,500 pending inspection. I signed the papers with a calm hand and a numb heart. Back home, I left her things untouched. The stuffed giraffe. The overpriced skincare. Her dream journal with the lock she never used. A closet of contradictions in a room that used to hold trust. And I waited. Until tonight. She looked through the crack in the door like she was trying to spot the man she left behind. Maybe she hoped I'd still be him. Loyal. Apologetic. Wounded. But I had changed too. You asked for no contact, I said. I'm just respecting your request. She blinked. That trip, Jordan, it wasn't what it looked like. No? I said. Then tell me, what exactly did it look like to you? She hesitated. That was her mistake. Because when a liar hesitates, the truth kicks the door in. What she didn't know, what she still doesn't know, is what happened while she was gone. I found something. In her sock drawer. Beneath the pink cashmere pair I got her for her birthday. It was a key. Not to our apartment. To a storage unit. I followed the number, took a cab across town pretending I was still just the guy who made breakfast. What I found inside turned my blood to mercury. A second life. Pictures. A journal. A burner phone. A thumb drive. The title on the journal, Before I Say Goodbye. And that's the end of part 1. Every lie Emily thought she buried is about to rise. And Ryan? He's no longer the boyfriend she left. He's something else now, colder, smarter, unrecognizable. The war between love and revenge has begun. In the journal, Ryan finds something that connects Jordan to something far bigger, a name he never expected to see. His. And a single, haunting sentence. If Ryan ever finds this, I'm already added D to him. I read the first page of her journal 12 times before I believed she'd actually written it. The handwriting was hers, round, half cursive, slanted like she always wrote from the side. But the words? They didn't belong to the girl I remembered. Not to the Emily who used to cry at animal shelter commercials or whisper I love you like it was a promise tattooed to her tongue. This Emily was sharp, calculating, dangerous. Entry 1, September 12th. Jordan says I have a gift for pretending. I think he means it as a compliment. I'm not sure what that says about him or me. Either way, I've made my choice. This time, I won't look back. I flipped the page. My hands weren't shaking. Not yet. I think my mind had gone into some strange survival mode, like a diver staying calm underwater while sharks circle. Entry 3, October 7th. Ryan's too good. That's the problem. He makes me breakfast, holds my hand in public, remembers the name of my D@DCat. It makes me feel like I'm drowning in guilt. But Jordan reminds me I'm not the girl Ryan thinks I am. There were sketches in the margins, little doodles. A heart with a crack. A house on fire. I flipped further, faster. Entry 6, November 19th. I used to think love was about safety. Now I know it's about leverage. That line. I read it 3 times, slower each time, until the weight of it settled on my spine like cold iron. I was leverage. But it wasn't until I reached entry 10 that my stomach truly turned. Jordan thinks I should go through with it. He says once the papers are signed, the insurance will transfer, and then we're free. I don't think Ryan suspects anything. He's too trusting. He's always been too trusting. Insurance. I dropped the journal like it burned. My name was on her life insurance. Not just the apartment lease. Not just the car. She'd taken out a joint accidental D@th writer. Months ago. She said it was just in case. Back when we were still. But the journal. The burner phone. The timeline. It all twisted into something else now. I dug into the box beneath the journal. Found the burner phone. Charged it. Scrolled the messages. Most were deleted, but not all. Jordan, flights booked. When it's done, we vanish. You okay with that? Emily, as long as I never see him flinch when I lie again. I'm tired of pretending I'm not a monster. I sat back against the wall of that storage unit, and for the first time since she left, I didn't feel hurt. I felt rage. Cold. Focused. Useful. She hadn't left me for Jordan. They'd planned something with me in it. But not with me alive. Back in my apartment, the air felt heavier. My walls thinner. My habits dangerous. She knew where I kept the fire extinguisher. The battery drawer. The way the stove sparked if you turned the dial too far. She'd watched me every day like a lion in the long grass, studying my patterns. Not for love, for timing. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark, thinking about the things she'd said in the journal. About leverage. About love. About my name being the only thing on that car. And the car, wait. I never checked the glove box before selling it. My stomach dropped. The next morning, I returned to the dealership. The car hadn't been processed yet. It sat out back with other vehicles in waiting, looking innocent under the dusty sun. I had to bribe the kid at the desk $50 just to get 5 minutes alone with it. When I opened the glove box, there it was. A USB stick. And a slip of paper with 2 names. Mine. And someone else's. A name I didn't recognize. Detective Halloran. That night, I plugged in the USB. It contained audio files. Recordings. Of me. Clips from arguments, private conversations, moments I'd never shared with anyone else. One stood out. Me, weeks ago, raising my voice after Emily came home late again. You're treating me like an idiot, Emily. Like I'm some kind of ATM with a heartbeat. No context. Just enough venom. Just enough manipulation. Someone was trying to make me look violent. Unstable. Capable. Capable of hurting her. That's when I heard the knock. Not at the door. At the window. 3 stories up. Just one knock. Then silence. 3 stories up. I live on the 3rd floor of a brick apartment complex built in the 70s, back when buildings were just rectangles with plumbing. There's no balcony. No fire escape. Just one window above a narrow alley. So when I heard the knock, I froze. Not in fear. Not even in confusion. Just froze, the way prey does when it hears something it knows shouldn't be real. I moved slowly to the window. Not opening it. Just enough to peek through the slats in the blinds. Nothing. No ladder. No shadow. Just dark air and a garbage bin with its lid half off. But I knew what I heard. One. Single. Knock. Just one. Like a warning. Like a signature. I barely slept that night. At 3:24 a.m., I got a text. From an unknown number. You're not as clever as you think. No name. No emoji. Just that. I didn't respond. Because whoever sent it knew something I hadn't told anyone, that I'd started fighting back. By noon, I was in the police station. I asked for Detective Halloran. Blank looks. We don't have anyone here by that name, said the desk sergeant. Sure you got the name right? I pulled out the paper from the glove box. Same name. Same handwriting. Halloran. With a badge number. They ran it. The number wasn't fake, it had belonged to someone. But not anymore. Detective Halloran had been retired for 6 years. Last known address, no longer valid. No social. No updates. Vanished. That's when I started to feel it, the invisible net tightening around me. I went home. Listened to the rest of the audio files. There were 26 total. In one, Emily wept. He's not who people think he is. He can be controlling. Sometimes I feel scared. But I'd never heard her say that. Not in life. Not in memory. I cross-referenced the audio metadata. They were stitched. Edited. A Frankenstein of phrases pulled from real conversations, twisted until they meant something else. She wasn't just preparing to leave. She was building a digital character. Of me. That night, I got a knock at the door. A real one. I opened it cautiously, chain still on. It wasn't Emily. It was Jordan. In the flesh. Tan. Calm. Eyes like wet sand. Hey, man, he said, like we were about to barbecue. I stared at him. You've got balls showing up here. I'm not here to fight. I'm here to warn you. That sentence. Those words. I knew then, something was spiraling beyond even them. He stepped back, hands up. I didn't know how far she was gonna take it, he said. I thought it was just an escape plan. Some money. Maybe a fake ID. But after she found that cop, Halloran, she changed. Started talking about roles. About narratives. What are you talking about? I asked. Jordan looked me in the eye. She said the only thing better than a clean break is a perfect tragedy. Then he handed me a flash drive. She's planning something. Maybe already started. I don't know who she is anymore, man. Then he left. Just turned and vanished down the stairwell. The drive contained a video. Grainy. Black and white. Surveillance footage, probably from a storage unit camera. Time-stamped a week before Emily left. In the footage, I saw her meet with a man in a hoodie. They didn't talk. They exchanged items. A folder. A suitcase. Then she hugged him like she'd just buried a secret in his chest. And then? They both looked at the camera. As if they knew I'd be watching someday. Later that night, I received an envelope in my mailbox. No stamp. No return address. Inside, a photograph. Emily. Wearing a black dress I'd never seen, standing in front of a cabin in the woods. On the back, 3 words in red ink. Come find me. It took me 3 days to track the cabin. The photo had no GPS, no metadata. Just trees. Shadows. The slope of a roofline like a severed thought. But I remembered something Emily once mentioned: a retreat. Off-grid. No Wi-Fi. Just trees and honesty. A cabin her aunt used to rent in Vermont. I dug through emails, bank statements, pieced together fragments like shattered glass. Eventually, I found it. Off Route 108. No cell service. The kind of place serial killers write love letters to. I didn't tell anyone I was going. Not that anyone would have believed me. I packed a flashlight, a crowbar, and a voice recorder. Because I needed proof. Or a confession. Or both. The road was dirt by the time I arrived. Dusk bleeding into the trees like ink into water. The cabin was exactly like the photo. Too exact. Like it had been preserved in amber just for me. One window glowed dimly. I stepped inside. No creak. No warmth. Just Emily. Standing in the center of the room. Smiling. Like she'd been waiting for a dinner reservation that was always going to arrive on time. Ryan, she said. You came. She was barefoot. Hair down. Wearing the same black dress. And behind her, the suitcase from the surveillance video. I didn't speak. I clicked on the recorder and set it on the table between us. You want to talk? I said. Let's talk. Her smile twitched. Still love theatrics, huh? You edited the audio, I said. You planned a smear campaign. Jordan gave me everything. Jordan's weak, she replied calmly. Of course he cracked. But he gave you the wrong version of the story. She unzipped the suitcase. Inside? Files. Dozens of them. Photos. Notes. dossiers. And every single one of them had my face paper clipped to the top. Ryan, she said softly. You were always the subject. I stared. What? She pulled out a file. Slid it across the table. It had the logo of a company I didn't recognize, Obscura Institute. You think this was about love? She whispered. Or cheating? God, no. You're in a case study. We've been monitoring you for years. Behavioral divergence. Response mapping. Controlled emotional collapse. Bullshit. But I opened the file anyway. Inside, transcripts of phone calls I never remembered having. Conversations from my childhood. Footage of me at a birthday party when I was 6. How did you? She leaned in. You were never dating me, Ryan. You were the variable. My blood went cold. Emily stepped back and gestured toward the walls. That's when I noticed the cameras. Hidden. Embedded. Camouflaged. Not GoPros. Industrial-grade surveillance. You were recruited without consent, she said. Ethical gray area, sure. But you tested high in resilience and low in external social verification. Perfect candidate. What the hell are you talking about? She stepped closer. Your heartbreak was our content. I looked at the recorder on the table. She reached over, clicked it off. I already uploaded the final act, she said. You showing up here? Beautiful ending. Narrative symmetry. Bravo. Then she held up a tiny device. A detonator? No. A switch. Lights above us shifted. The room brightened. A hidden camera revealed itself from the ceiling. A red recording light blinked. Live feed. You're broadcasting me? To our subscribers, she said. Millions. They've followed your story for months. Rooted for you. Screamed when you sold the car. Cheered when you found the journal. I stepped back. Everything felt tilted. Unreal. Her dress, the suitcase, even the F*King knock at the window. All of it. Scripted. But why? I whispered. Emily looked almost sad. Because you were real. Everyone else plays along. But you believed. You loved for real. Broke for real. That's rare now. A pause. I wanted to see what it would take to break a good man. That's when I lunged. Not at her. At the camera. I grabbed the crowbar and swung. Glass shattered. Sparks. The room plunged into darkness. She screamed. Not in fear. In anger. You just killed your legacy, Ryan. No, I said. I just killed your illusion. The lights were out. The glass shards glittered in the moonlight like fragments of a broken fourth wall. My ears rang. The silence felt unfamiliar. For the first time in months, I wasn't part of someone else's script. I was unsupervised. Emily scrambled to the corner, clutching the remote with the blinking red LED. I expected her to scream. Call for backup. Threaten lawsuits. She just looked at me with something worse than fear. Pity. You don't get it, Ryan, she said, voice thin. They're not going to let you walk away. I'm not walking, I said. I'm erasing. I grabbed the suitcase, tore it open, and dumped its contents onto the floor. Dossiers, contracts, NDAs, USBs. Each file had metadata, dates, coordinates, annotations like Subject 82B, increased paranoia when isolated, sustained gaslighting phase 3 to 5. There were 20 others like me. Names. Faces. Dead eyes staring from photocopied ID photos. One had a note scrawled in the margin. Subject 76 self-terminated. Considered a narrative triumph. I felt bile rise in my throat. They weren't just studying us. They were breaking us. For sport. Emily stood now, slower, something behind her eyes cracking. This was never personal, she whispered. You need to believe that. I shook my head. No. That's the only thing that makes it worse. I took her phone. Opened her messaging app. Dozens of encrypted threads. One stood out. Control_room, do not engage. I typed. Subject 82B is dead. Feed corrupted. I hit send. No response. I tossed the phone in the fireplace and lit a match. Let it burn. Outside, the woods buzzed with electricity. Drones. Black SUVs crawling like spiders between the trees. But I knew their language now. I knew the pattern. Their rules. And I wasn't playing anymore. I ran. Not aimlessly, deliberately. Toward the place Emily said didn't exist. The blind spot. She'd mentioned it once in the journal. A patch of forest with no Wi-Fi, no satellite coverage. A glitch in the map, she wrote. It took me hours. Maybe more. But I found it. And when I crossed into the clearing, felt the silence fall around me like armor, I knew I was out. Not safe, but untrackable. I lived off-grid for 17 days. Long enough to grow a beard. Long enough to think. I studied every file I salvaged. Learned their syntax, their ops model. I became fluent in their sickness. Then I built my own broadcast. Not to 1 million subscribers. Just one. 1 month later, a package arrived at the corporate headquarters of Obscura Institute. Unmarked. Inside, a flash drive. And a note that read, "The variable learned to code." They opened the file. It autoplayed. A new video series. The Breakers. Episode 1, Emily. Episode 2, Halloran. Episode 3, the chair in the basement where Subject 76 carved his final words into the wall. I existed. The final episode? Me. Staring into the camera. Calm. Cold. Smiling. You thought you built a show. You built a weapon. You broadcast pain like entertainment. Now the audience sees you. And they're not clapping. Within a week, the company went dark. Leaked files hit forums. Anonymous testimonies emerged. Half the staff vanished. The other half denied everything. But it didn't matter. They lost the narrative. Because I took it. And broke it. And made sure they would never tell another story again. Final words. Somewhere out there, someone's still watching. Waiting for my next move. They're scared now. They should be. Because I'm not Ryan anymore. I'm the glitch in their system. And I don't need revenge. I just need them to remember. The variable survived.